We are expecting a vote at, any moment from the House side of Congress on reopening the federal government. A simple majority in the House and a signature by the president, and the funding bill would end the longest shutdown in the nation's history. But that's not the only big news coming out of D.C. There's a new House member being sworn in that could lead to the release of the Epstein files, a full release, that is, which the country got another teaser of today with the release of a Jeffrey Epstein email chain that specifically mentions President Trump and his connection to the convicted sex offender. Idaho Congressman Mike Simpson, who navigated his way through the nation's delaying airports, made it all the way to D.C. for the funding vote, made some time for Joe Paris today to talk about all of it.
Close to a deal on Capitol Hill on day 42 and counting of the federal government shutdown.
We'll have an hour debate on the rule, vote on the rule. If that passes, which I assume it will, then we'll take up the CR and pass it.
Idaho Congressman Mike Simpson has remained working in D.C. in recent weeks.
Excited to get it passed. We spent, 5 weeks now, 6 weeks in an unnecessary, what I call a stupid Schumer shutdown. It was all unnecessary. I don't know what they were after, what they were hoping to accomplish with this shutdown. What they did is caused a lot of pain for the American people. And I'm excited to get it back open and let us start doing our job again, start working on our appropriation bills.
There are questions from Republicans and Democrats about what was accomplished from a shutdown. Democrats were holding out for extensions to the Affordable Care Act, but a swing in votes from select Dems who moved on from the topic as a condition to reopen the government.
They settled for the same deal that Senator Thune offered them the first week of the shutdown. And so, I'm kind of looking at it going, so what did you win in this? And I hope that everybody learned that, as I've said many, many times, shutting down the government is never good policy and it's never good politics.
With the government set to reopen, business continues on a variety of topics, including the release of more files related to Jeffrey Epstein. This afternoon, a newly sworn-in member of Congress became the final necessary signature on a petition that would require the Justice Department to release all unclassified documents related to Epstein's sex trafficking operation.
I want the public to have as much information as is reasonable, as long as we protect the identity of the victims in this process. And however we have to do that, I'm not trying to protect anybody that was involved in the abuse of these women or anything like that. But getting the information out is more complicated than just saying, here it all is, go after it, And that's the concern I have with what the Democrats are trying to do with the discharge petition, is it would just pretty much release everything. And that's not the right way to do it. Let's do it through the regular legislative process. And we've got committees that are working on that right now.
Of note, this afternoon, House Republicans released 23,000 pages of new documents from the Jeffrey Epstein estate. Some made headlines early today, implications about President Trump and Epstein's relationship, drawing questions, too, if the president knew about crimes with young girls. Brian, in terms of the conversation about refunding the government, at this point in time, they're going through some procedural votes, and then there is allowed extended debate on the floor for that CR, that continuing resolution. If it is approved by Congress tonight, the president would sign it to put it into effect, and it only goes through January 31st. So I asked the congressman if he thinks that we're, in line for another shutdown February 1st. He doesn't think so, but it is a very political heavy
Anything's
time.
possible.
Anything's possible.
All right, 5:15 is when they're supposed to do that vote. Is that correct? All right.
Yep.
We'll pay attention. Thanks, Joe.